I'm afraid to say a lot of my red onions have actually bolted. There are scapes on most of them, unfortunately. So I think it's a problem with having a warm May and then sudden intense downpours like we've just recently had. So I need to get those out of the ground ASAP and lined up in the polytunnel to dry today. So that's the plan. But first things first, I need to sort out this path. There's not a lot of space to work really because of all this willow herb that is just getting everywhere. It's taking over the plot, which is a bit of a nuisance. So cue the opening montage. Let's sort the path out. Hello there! So thanks so much for tuning in. I'm Tim and this is my Carbon Coach. It's a channel all about allotment life, sustainable living, all that kind of good stuff. So path's done. I've got some weed membrane down, got a load of bark that I carried up here the other day from Wicks. So that is sorted and hopefully that will last for a couple of years at least, fingers crossed. So what I'm really up here to do is, he says, sitting in front of the beautiful garlics. So these are almost ready, I reckon, but I'm going to be in the distance there working on the red onions. Like I said, they have bolted, and quite a lot of them, to be honest, have got scapes on the top, which is not good. So then all the energy is going to go into sort of flowering rather than the bulbs, but they are looking like a decent size and you'll see what I mean once I start digging them out. And what I'm going to do is, I've got that bottom shelf that I built on the workbench last time round. If you haven't seen that video, check it out. It is pretty good, to be fair. And yeah, what we'll do is we'll just start digging them out. Well, I'll take the scapes off the top first of all. That can go into the compost bin, and then yeah, we'll start digging them out and I can show you what I've grown. So now I've got all of this beautiful space to work over here. I'm just going to work my way along and snip off all of these scapes and yeah, then go from there. So I think that these are edible, to be honest, so I might hold off on the compost bin before I research that. But yeah, if we just work our ways along. Something's been nibbling on all of this as well. I do have a lot of sort of animals that come along and like to munch on everything. Happened over there with my gladioli and my hyacinths. There's, yeah, something seems to really enjoy just going for my produce, and yeah, I don't mind sharing it. I mean, obviously I'm growing quite a lot for just me and my wife to eat. There we go, that's all of this side done. Let's just grab that one. There we go, before making my way around to the other side. Some of them haven't bolted yet actually, which is quite good, but some of them have just gone haywire. So let's just make sure I get all of these. So the reason why I left these in so long was because I got confused between whether or not they are meant to sort of brown off and fall over, but that's garlic, isn't it, rather than red onions. So never mind, we live and we learn. It's only my second year of properly growing things, so yeah, that's just basically sort of par for the course, I reckon. So anyway, that's all of the beautiful scapes taken off. So if I just plonk these down here in a pile, and then I don't know if I'm going to need a fork to work these out, or if I'll just be able to sort of dig around them and give them a bit of a tug. Well, that one actually looks quite small. So yeah, maybe they're not quite ready, or maybe some of them are and some of them aren't. Let's go for another one and just see what we're working with. That one's looking like a more decent size, for sure. However, I'm not 100% sure whether or not they are ready. It's really hard to tell. Let's try a third one for luck and see where we're at. They're certainly looking beautiful. So let's get a zoom in and yeah, I can show you what we're working with. So these are the three that I've dug out, and they're of different sizes. So I'm not really sure what to make of it. Whether, I mean, that one's a decent size. The necks are absolutely huge. I don't remember red onions. Anyway, so yeah, that's what I'm working with, and I've still got an awful lot in the ground, but quite a lot of them had bolted. So I think what I'm going to do is just dig out some of the larger ones, hedge my bets, and then get some feedback on this video and yeah, see what the consensus is, whether it's like, oh my days Tim, you need to get them all out straight away, they've put out scapes, they need to come up, or you cut the scapes off, it's pretty cool to just leave them be for now then. Yeah, let's go for it. Got to try not to get distracted and just weed whilst I'm doing this. That can happen another time whilst I'm not in the middle of filming a video. The important thing is to get some of these onions out, really, isn't it? So let's carry on carrying on. Lift these out. I mean, they look absolutely beautiful, but they might be a bit too small and young. I really don't know. It's not even so much a case of trial and error, is it? It's just error. But yeah, never mind. There's another weed. Let's go. That one looks huge. We're definitely going to get that one out. This one here is a bit of a big boy as well. So loosen off the soil around. And then pull. Yeah, so they've got really large necks, but not very bulbous bulbs. So yeah, who knows really. Right, let's pop around the other side here. Loosen off around that one. So that one's looking a bit more onion shaped. I mean, red onions are typically smaller than your white onions, aren't they? So you never know, this might all be fine and I might just be panicking because I'm, yeah, a little bit unsure of myself, aren't I? So what was the large one? It was that one, wasn't it? That was the daddy. Yeah, I have a feeling that these are too small, really. So I'm in a bit of a rock and a hard place, whether I keep going and keep digging, or if I leave them in and risk it. I mean, what I'm going to be doing with this number of red onions is wait for the train to go past, as always. Making myself a lot of chutney, red onion balsamic chutney. Absolutely love the stuff, can't get enough of it. Makes absolutely awesome presents as well. So I guess the size doesn't really matter, does it, when you're just going to chop it up? It's not like I'm growing for a show and need sort of super-sized onions at all. I might not even need to leave them to dry out fully, to be honest. I can just sort of let them get a tiny bit of a skin and then just go for it. As one of my favourite sayings on the channel is, answers on a postcard, please. Yeah, any advice would be helpful. Huge thanks to those of you that replied to my community post the other day about about these going to seed and stuff. So yeah, really appreciated the advice there. And yeah, some of them are looking pretty good. Like that one's a lovely boy, isn't he? So yeah, what we'll do next is we will get the polytunnel open and we'll head into there and yeah, get everything laid out nicely. So you'll have to excuse the mess in here. It's awful, to be honest. But there we go. That is the red onions that I just pulled out, and that bottom shelf on the table actually makes a really nice little drying rack. Just having them hanging off the end there. In answer to pretty much all of my questions from earlier, one of my lovely plot neighbours just came past, so I checked with them about the size of these, and he agreed that I am in fact too early digging them out. They are no way bulbous enough. I mean, that one's basically just straight up and down. Some of them have got a little bit of shape on, but I got spooked by the scapes and them bolting. So all I need to do, apparently, is just cut the scapes off as and when I see them and leave them in the ground to carry on doing what they're doing. And yeah, so I've got those ones. I'm just going to leave them there for a bit, see what happens, and then, like I say, use them in some recipes. Just whilst we're in here, actually, so you might remember that I sowed these seeds last time around, and I've been trying to take care of them, but unfortunately nothing's really been happening. I don't know whether, I mean, they feel wet, but yeah, there's just no sign of anything happening, unfortunately, except over here I've got some salad leaves, which is really promising, so fantastic for those, less good for all of the others. So I have bought myself some new seeds, so over the following few days I am going to be resowing an awful lot. And what I've actually done is got myself some propagator lids for these, because to be honest, in here it is a bit warm, but it's not super warm. What I've also gone and done is bought myself some duct tape, because I've got holes in the top, so I need to go around and patch everything up, and then hopefully that will keep it all a lot warmer as well. But anyway, that is some, I'd say less than half, that's probably about a third of the onions dug up. But what I'm going to do is be on constant scape watch now. I'm just going to try and stop the rest of them from sort of bolting and just leave them be and see what else crops up, and yeah, just keep on monitoring the situation really. And what I just bought on my way up here from the shop, I popped into Morrison's and yeah, found this little module tray of sweet corn, and it's early bird sweet corn. So never grown it, and I think it would make a nice little bit just here on the end. So what I'm going to do is quickly just pull the weeds out, and then yeah, transfer these modules into the ground, give it a really solid watering. It's pretty good soil and compost here. I've put a lot of compost in, so it should be all right, and then go from there. So these are sown as 2 sweet corns per module, so I don't know whether or not at this stage I need to do any thinning or see what happens once I put them in the ground. I am prone to be doing that, to wait and see really. But anyway, I'll just quickly get the weeds out of here. There's hardly any, to be honest, barely an inconvenience. So let's do that. That's all the weeding done, and yeah, barely took any time at all. And then I've got these, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 12 of them, and they're meant to be spaced sort of 45 centimeters apart, so probably about sort of a forearm length apart. Put those in as straight as possible and hope that I haven't done them too much of a damage coming out of here. I don't know whether it's going to be best to actually cut them out of these trays or not. Anyway, let's just soldier on and see where we get up to. So yeah, probably about there, I would say. And so on. And I've still got this path here to clear, so I'm battling with even more of this willow herb weed. It is absolutely awful stuff. It's just gotten everywhere. Cool, so these seem to be going in fairly nicely, and that's probably going to go up to there, and then we're getting very close towards the garlics, so we don't want to interfere with those guys too much. So that's quite nice. So that's a nice little row of 4 there. So if I do 3 rows of 4, then that'll be absolutely perfect. Nice one. The roots on these are absolutely really nicely well developed. So yeah, I'm gonna have to stand on there. So this is something fun and new. Like I said, I've not actually grown sweet corn before. Not the world's biggest sweet corn fan, but my wife is. So these are, yeah, she can go to town on these. Cool, right, so that's those ones done, and then just need to hop over to the other side to get the next four, whichever you prefer. I guess it's just semantics, isn't it? Cool, right, I'm not holding out much hope for that one. That one properly didn't want to come out of its little home. Absolutely beautiful. So penultimate one going in there, and then there we go, final sweet corn. Lovely jubbly. So those just obviously need watering in, but everything up here needs a water, so I'll be able to do that off of camera. So that's going to conclude this time around's allotment adventure. So we started off with wild panic as, oh my days, I'm going to have to dig up all of my onions. They've bolted, the scape's going on. I've said scape's an awful lot in this video, I'm sorry guys. And to, oh no, it's all right, just cut the tops off, keep an eye on them, and they will just carry on fattening up. So we have got some onions out, so that'll be lovely. They'll eat quite nicely. I've got this entire pathway done, so that was a big job crossed off the list in making this place look a lot neater and tidier. And yeah, got these beautiful sweet corns, 12 lots of sweet corn in. So like I say, I'll water those up, and yeah, we'll go from there. There'll be regular updates on how they're doing, whether they survived me pulling them out of that plastic thingy and putting them in the ground. Really hope so. So all that's left for me to do is to remind you guys that if you wanted to support the channel, you can do that in a few ways. You can hit that like button, you can subscribe to the channel if you're not already. We're still on the hunt for that elusive 1,000 subscribers, which would be absolutely wonderful. And if you wanted to, you can also support me through Patreon, which is a way of supporting content creators to do what they're doing. Mine starts from just £2 a month. From that you get some sweet perks, like you get money off in the shop, and that's actually in the physical shop or ordering online. And if any of you did want to check it out, I don't really plug it on the channel an awful lot, but if you wanted to check it out, mycarboncoach.co.uk, all sorts of sustainable living goodies, from reusable cups and bottles. I've just had some beautiful picnic boxes coming in and things like that, through to soaps, shampoos, like solid bars of, ocean savers, laundry eggs, all of that kind of stuff. So yeah, please check it out. I'll be back ASAP as soon as I can. But yeah, I'll be back soon with an update, with sowing some more seeds in there with propagator lids on, to see if I can do any better and sort of, yeah, get the ball rolling a bit better with that. And yeah, all that's left to say is take care of yourselves, take care of your plots, have a fantastic week. Cheers everyone.